Hey, what's up? I am Muchelleb, and in this video I want to talk to you about some mindset shifts that have changed the way that I live my life, that have changed my view on life. These are just like little changes to the way that I think that have ultimately made a huge difference in my life. To give full credit where credit is due, I got this video idea from Thomas Frank. I'm gonna link his video down below. The first mindset change that has made a really big difference in my life is that we are the stories that we tell ourselves. To be clear, awful, horrible things can happen, and those things are awful and they are horrible. This isn't about downplaying the awfulness or the horribleness of an event or an experience. It's more about shaping your own story around that event so that you can kind of own the event as opposed to it owning you. So for a short period of time, I worked in a job where every single morning I would cry before going to work. I was an absolute wreck. I was so anxious every single day opening the door to go into work. I worked late like all of the time. I got physically sicker than I'd been in years working in that job. My literal appearance took a downturn. Like, I did not care what I was wearing, what my face looked like, which could be seen as empowering, but in this situation it absolutely wasn't. It was just, I was that done. I'd get home, Luke would usually make me dinner because I was such a zombie, and then I would fall asleep on the couch and then he would carry me to bed. Like, it was just a horrible cycle. But the experience that I got from doing that job was priceless, and the step up that that job gave me has made a huge difference in my life overall. I never would have been ready for the role that I'm in now had I not done that job. It taught me a lot about working in the corporate environment. It taught me a lot about what I don't want out of my life and what I do want. There is so much that I got from that experience. There are two stories that I could tell myself about that time, and one is very much I was the victim, the poor me story, or there's the story that actually makes sense and is beneficial to me in some way, which is, wow, that was a bad time, but look at where I am now because of it. Look at the things that it did benefit me and help me with. It's shaped who I am today. I'm a better person for it, and I'm freaking proud of myself for getting through it. There are lots of shitty things that are going to happen in your life. Like, it is a guarantee. You can't escape them. But who you become because of those things depends on the story that you tell yourself after the fact. And sometimes you're going to come out of an experience and you're going to see yourself as the victim, but over time you'll be able to shape that story so that you can see it as something that is in some way empowering. Of course, you can still recognize an event was like a crap time, like a horrible thing to happen, but you can also recognize on the other end of the spectrum that you grew from it and look more towards what you gained from it than what you lost from it, if that makes sense. The next mindset shift is "this too shall pass," which is the most cliched quote of all time, but it's made a really big difference to me in the last couple of years. So the phrase "this too shall pass" to me meant literally nothing for a long period of time. Like, I didn't actually understand it, but now it's actually my go-to phrase that I repeat whenever I'm struggling. It's kind of like a mantra that I say over and over again in my mind. Some people see it as a phrase that belittles the situation that you're going through. I see it as a phrase that helps you to look back on times when you've gone through a similar struggle in the past to help you get through the struggle that you're getting through now. We all feel a lot of things and go through a lot of things, and it's easy to over-identify with how we feel. You think that because you're sad in this very moment, you're going to be sad forever. You think that because you're struggling now, your life is just going to be this constant struggle, and you forget that there is a future ahead for you. Logically, we know we're not going to be stuck in whatever we're feeling forever, but at the time it is easy to buy into that mindset. So for me, repeating the phrase "this too shall pass" whenever I am going through a time of struggle has been super helpful. I think that looking back at past experience is one of the best ways to prove to yourself that you are capable and you are competent. And if you shift yourself in that moment from over-identifying with feelings of helplessness, sadness, whatever it may be, and shift it over to, hey, I've been through a similar situation like this before. Similar feelings like this have come up before. I can get past this. You're going to be far better off for it. The next one, it sounds really simple in theory, but to actually accept it is a whole nother bag. And that is, not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. This is for my people pleasers out there, present people pleasers, recovering people pleasers. So last year, or maybe the year before, I'd had a few drinks. I was a word vomiting to a friend, my poor friend, who is an absolute babe and listens to Drunk Michelle. That's a task and a half. Basically, I was talking to her about how I didn't feel like I got along with other people as well as other people do. Like, there were these people that everyone seemed to like and everyone seemed to be good friends with, and I just didn't feel like I had that same vibe or connection. So her response to my concerns was, but do you actually want to be friends with those people? Like, are they the kind of people that you want to be close friends with? Which is the simplest question, but it's really prompted a mindset shift in me when I get that feeling of like, oh, why am I not getting along so well with these people? Like, why am I not best friends instantly with these human beings? It was just a reality check of like, hey, you don't have to be best friends with everyone. It's okay to have like a special bond with a few select people, and it's okay to be selective about who you want to be friends with. Because at the end of the day, while we might all want to be well liked, we're all pretty freaking picky about the people that we would actually spend time investing a friendship in. And I think a lot of you are like me in that there are very few people that you're going to meet and be like, hey, I like this human being, like they seem aware, they listen to cool podcasts, like they do cool stuff, I want to be friends with them. And it's okay to be a person that is selective. I hope that made sense to some of you at least. It's been something that's really changed the way that I think about friendships in general in my life. The next one is super relevant to my INFJs out there. So a while ago, I had someone who was close to me at the time tell me that I was different in my videos than I was in real life. And I was like really shook. I didn't really express it at the time, but it really stuck with me as something that I like unhealthily dwelled on. I'm an INFJ and I know that the Myers-Briggs test isn't super scientific, but one thing that I really identify with out of the INFJ profile is really craving presenting myself in an authentic way, which obviously is a huge struggle when I'm a YouTuber. Anyways, a little later down the line, I remember listening to a podcast, I wish I could remember the name of it, but they basically talked about how no one has a definite self, no one has a definite personality. When you actually track people's behaviors, actions, and things that they say over time, no one is entirely consistent. Like, there is no definite you, and that is what got this mindset shift ticking. I've thought about this a lot as someone who likes to overthink these kind of things, and since then I've come to have a mindset shift of realizing that every single different situation you're in is always going to bring out a different version of you. It's still very much you, but it's just one part of you. And that's okay. You're never going to be able to be entirely consistent across the board in every situation. That's just a reality. That's not inauthenticity. You are going to be a different version of yourself when you're with your colleagues, when you're in a meeting with someone new, when you meet someone socially new, when you're in a gathering, when you're in an event, when you're talking about the Kardashian drama versus when you're talking about your mental health struggles. And that's okay and that's normal, and you shouldn't doubt who you are because of your focus on remaining authentic. But once again, I feel like that was a fuzzy one, but it's something that's made a big difference to me, probably because of my particular situation. I hope it makes a big difference to one of you out there as well. Perhaps an overthinking INFJ like myself. I'd love to hear what mindset shifts have changed your life, because I feel like I have so many of these that I could share in a video. I'm convinced there are a ton more back there that I could dig out, so let me know if you want to see more of these videos. If you like this video, you might like another video that I made that is all about how to be nice to yourself, like how to be kinder to yourself, how to treat yourself as a friend. I'll have that linked on the screen and down below. I appreciate you guys so freaking much. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you soon.